This is Christine Brown, and while I have to listen to this podcast as my motherly duty, you have the choice not to. My sons sometimes say some naughty things when they're trying to be funny, but really, they're just being stupid. If you still want to listen, go right ahead. I am not your mother.
Welcome back to the Patriots Dynasty Podcast, the podcast where my brothers and I are rewatching every game of the Dynasty era until we run out of games or until we run out of steam. We shall see. We have made it through the 2004 regular season, and we're preparing for the 2004 playoffs. With me, as always, is a trusty brother, Steve Brown.
Dependable bro.
Dependable brother, yes. The favorite brother, if you will.
Yes.
We are missing Greg Brown, but that hardly matters because we have another guest, a special guest this week. The most special guest, Steve, that we've ever had?
Definitely.
Fair to say? Yeah, I would say so. With us this week, we are very pleased to announce the one and only Mr. Third Down himself, Kevin Troy Faulk. Kevin, thanks for joining us.
You're on mute.
You're on mute, bud. Still on mute.
Unmute me. Here we go.
There you go.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all having me, man. I don't know how we got on mute. I got one hand right now.
Well, I got to say, Kevin, thank you for agreeing to do the rest of the 300 games instead of Greg. That's really kind of you.
Damn, you really tried to slide that one in there, huh?
Coming out strong. Nice effort, Steve. I like it. All right. So maybe for those of the younger listeners that we have, let's kind of run through those that didn't get to experience the Kevin Faulk era at the beginning of the 2004 season. You've heard us talk about him ad nauseum on this podcast. But Kevin, born in Lafayette, Louisiana, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this stuff.
Yes,
this
sir.
is all basically from your Wikipedia. So
You was pretty good with the pronunciation too now.
yeah, not bad, right? Not bad for a northern guy.
Yes, sir.
Your high school quarterback, is that right?
High school quarterback.
Dreams of playing wide receiver, ended up as a running back, as you do.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Ended up as a running back at LSU. I'm not a big college football guy because, I'm born and raised in New England. So we don't really do college football up here. Didn't realize like how big a deal you were at LSU.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, nobody did, especially up there.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, that's true.
But 13 long, good years.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think you're still the school's leader in rushing yards, rushing touchdowns from scrimmage. You're what was it? Fourth in the SEC in rushing yards, third in total touchdowns in the SEC. Like you were a wagon basically at LSU.
I still didn't know all of that. Thanks for reminding me about that. I didn't know.
That's what we're here for. We're here to pump your tires, bud.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about it.
But yeah, I mean, and there's some big names on there, on all those lists, really. I mean, you're up there with some big names. Let's see who we got. We got. Do you know who else is up on those lists? Did you track that back in the day, or like when it's happening?
Well, I know Herschel Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Jackson was up there with something.
Oh yeah.
Emmett, maybe not. I know Tebow got the touchdowns.
Tebow did get the touchdowns. Yes, he did.
I remember when that happened. That wasn't fair.
Yeah, it doesn't quite count, does it? It's freaking quarterbacks. That's cheating.
Nah, well, however you can do it. Like I tell people, records are made to be broken by very special people. If somebody break a record, that means that's a special person.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, let's see. You were on the list of single game rushing yards for LSU twice.
Oh.
Number 7 with 246 rushing yards against Houston.
Yeah.
234 against Michigan State year before. Darius Juice is on here like 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
Yep.
That dude's a beast. I don't remember him. Darius Juice. Where does he play now? Oh, he's on
Dice. They just put juice on.
not even saying his name right. Yeah. As you can tell, I don't know. Oh, Steve, he's on the
Indians Commanders Washington football team.
Yeah, the Washington football team, whatever they call themselves now. Yeah.
He got in trouble, so they kind of changed his name a little bit. They didn't put his real name up there.
I got you. Yeah. So Kevin Faulk, highly drafted, highly sought after. Ended up being the 4th wide receiver off the board. But I was listening to another interview you did, and you were saying the Patriots told you that they were going to pick you in the first round?
Right. One of their first 2 picks. They had 2 picks in the first round that year. First one, they took Kessler or Woody. I think Woody.
Oh, yeah.
Woody.
I think Woody was first.
They took Damian Woody first. It was like, okay. They setting it up. Yeah. Doing exactly what they said. They set it up. The second pick came in the first. My bad. Second pick came in the first round, and it was like Andy Katzenmoor, Ohio State linebacker. And I'm sitting down on the sofa like, what? I get off the sofa and like, where you going? Out of here. I'm gonna jump on the 4-wheelers. I'm riding 4-wheelers and stuff in the forest. Mad as hell. And I think that was like the 26th, something like that. Well, Atlanta was in the Super Bowl that year, so they had the 32nd pick. They called, hey, we're thinking about taking you with the 32nd pick. I'm rushing back. Flying back. Get it? I forget who they picked. They picked somebody else, and I'm like, oh, you all mothers. And then from that point on, it's like, I don't even want to watch it no more. I'm good. It's about to, the draft is about to be in for the day. So I'm probably not going to get drafted. So I'm really upset. And I get the phone call. Hey, man, we traded up. We traded up for you, blah, blah, blah. It's New England. Like, mother. Okay, I'm happy. I'm excited. So, but yeah, it was a sad but exciting day.
Yeah, no kidding.
Who was the GM?
Yeah. The Patriots traded up with Tennessee to pick you.
Yes, because the Giants was about to take me.
Oh.
I think the Giants had the next pick right after Tennessee. Or somewhere around there. And
yeah, they're in there. Yeah, they were ahead of the Patriots. Yeah, they were a couple picks later. Yeah, exactly. And they went with Joe Montgomery instead. Whoops.
So, they was actually about to take me.
Yeah.
That's why the Patriots draft moved up. You know, they call who you like on your board, who's the first on your board. And that's how they, figure. I didn't even realize that. Who you like on your board? Oh, I like this guy. Oh, okay. Hey man, you want to trade? That's how this get done.
Yeah, I mean it's a whole. I've seen like all the behind the scenes stuff, and it's a whole like process. It's unbelievable how much work actually goes into making all these picks. Not that I think the NFL draft needs to be a 3-day televised affair.
Still, yeah.
Anything to make more money, guys.
That's right. Yeah, that's all it is.
Anything to make more money, guys. Come on, man.
So, you remember who the number 1 overall pick was in that draft?
Nah, remind me.
Tim Couch.
Ooh.
Don McNabb picked second.
Yeah. Because the Browns being the Browns. And then Bengals picking Achilles Smith.
Yeah.
And they still be in the Browns.
Oh, yeah. And then some.
Some things never change.
So you see like the interviews with Tom Brady, and he knows like the 6 guys picked ahead of him. Do you know the 3 picked ahead of you?
Good question.
Ricky Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Jay Johnson.
Who?
I'm not.
Oh yeah, J.J. Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah. EJ.
Yeah, Edgar and James. Edgar and James was 4, Ricky Williams 5, and J.J. Johnson was a few picks before you, 39.
I can't believe I remember that.
I can't believe you remember that either. I'm impressed. Still got that chip on your shoulder.
It's just I know those guys. Most of them, like besides Ricky and Ez, they played Jay played in the SEC, so I knew him.
Okay.
And I knew EJ already. We was cool already. And I roomed with Ricky for a few All-American teams in college. So I kind of knew.
How is that? Because that guy's a character.
It was awkward.
Oh, really?
Very awkward. He never talked. Huh. Never really went out with like us.
Yeah.
Like the game. He always had something going on his own. But now kind of know why.
Yeah.
But he did talk, but he just never really,
opened up.
Want to hang, yeah, exactly. Want to hang out with the whole group.
Yeah, I got you.
Like when I came back to the room, we joked around, but it wasn't like too many people. We had a very small circle.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm like that. I got Steve. That's about it. And then once in a while, Greg when he shows up.
You better have a small circle.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, I got neighbors. I don't even like them. I want to move further into the woods.
Oh, I love new friends.
I'm not a fan. I don't like people.
You'll be like me right now.
There you go. Living the dream, Kevin. All right. So all you did was get drafted by the Patriots in 1999, the second round.
Yep.
And since then, you still, after all these years, are in the top whatever of basically every single statistic that they have for the Patriots. You're still fifth in rushing yards, which I think is more impressive because you weren't ever kind of the feature back, like the bell cow that you normally see.
Right.
They never actually had a 100-yard game. Did you know that?
Oh, I knew that.
That came up on our podcast earlier. That's a crazy stat.
The one time that it came close, it
was like 96 yards. Like it was real close.
Did we watch that game recently?
I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
came up on the podcast
against the Browns, maybe. Yeah.
Yes. I remember it. Oh my God.
And yet, with all that said, you are still first in all-purpose yards.
So never having 100-yard games. Crazy.
Yeah. But because you're the 13th in receiving yards with all the quality receiving options that the Patriots have had over the years. First in kick return yards still. Had some good kick returners out there. 8th in punt return yards, which again, some real good punt returners, I would say. And you're first, you have a ton of kick return yards. And that's what everybody's like, oh, he's missed a third down. But I remember you being the kick return guy for a long time, like growing up.
I was there to secure the ball.
Yeah.
Make sure the ball get caught. And I had a few good runs. One year I returned 2 kickoffs for a touchdown. Yep.
You sure did. 2002, I think. We watched that a couple seasons ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Well, they actually that was one of the stats that I don't even know how I came. I think this was like one of the games we watched, and they posted this stat. Like they have just the random stats, and you were the only Patriot to score multiple touchdowns in 3 different categories. You did it rushing, receiving, and kick returns.
Yes,
and you were the only person in the whole NFL to do it that year.
Wow!
So bananas.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nobody never told me that.
I would imagine you're probably still the only Patriot, at least, to do in all 3 categories. Unless Edelman, I don't think
Edelman
would have had
2 in the year. I don't know.
Like 2 punt returns and like 2 rushing touchdowns. I don't think so. That wasn't his style. Never really had rush. So yeah, I bet that probably still stands.
Wow.
Because you were Mr. Everything.
About that.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, we've said this on the podcast a lot that you and I think Troy Brown are the prototypical Patriots. Like that seems to be like the guys they're looking for were basically replacements for you and Troy.
That's
all the way through. Yeah. I mean, he's our guy too, not just because he's got our last name.
That's probably my number one question. Who is your favorite teammate and why is it Troy Brown?
Well, I got a bunch of favorite teammates, but when I first came, whenever you first come somewhere, you try to find somebody that to idolize or to watch, to mimic.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the course of my first few weeks there, took notice of Troy. How he worked wasn't like the best player on the team, but he just worked hard and went about his business, not saying nothing, but just being that guy. and took to it and really started paying attention to how he works, how he goes about his business, and really started, trying to simulate him.
Well, I think you did a good job of that.
Try to.
So do you have a kind of like favorite moment from your football career? Anything that stands out specifically?
Oh, definitely. The first Super Bowl, I have to say that one because it was in my home state.
Oh, yeah.
I won a high school championship in that stadium at that time. Then to come back and win the Super Bowl. And then in 2019, we won a national championship in there. So the Superdome is kind of like a good place.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right. So, that's definitely a memory. Bad memory. Bad memory losing this 07.
Yeah, well, you and me both.
But it still was, that season was a memory like in its own. Yeah. Just the different weeks that went through, the different weeks were totally different each week as a team to, play each and every other team. It was a different team that we had to face, and we had to have a different game plan. So yeah, it was special.
So how that whole 2007 season felt like a big middle finger to like the whole league. Like you guys just never seemed to take your foot off the gas. Is that how it was like in the locker room too? Or was that just like us fans being like, nah, look what we do. We can throw the middle finger because the Patriots are doing so well and stomping everybody?
No, I think it was something that throughout the course of training camp, mini camp, you see what was developing. Mm. You seen what type of team that we could possibly have. And then when we added that one piece that we thought that was going to be, and that was Randy, and it was like, came to training camp. I can remember the first couple of days of training camp. And I don't know if Tom rolled out, was getting flushed out of the pocket, but he threw a deep ball to the left side. And Randy was lined up on the right side. Tom threw the ball so high in the air, Randy just had to run under it in the back of the left end zone. And if you remember the play of the first game of the season against the New York Jets, it was the identical play, identical ball that he threw, just like that. And it was like, oh my God, did you guys see him go get that? Did you see him accelerate? And it was like, oh, wow.
That's exactly what I said when we were watching that Jets game. Yeah. He literally outran triple coverage.
I'm like, this is going to be something special this year, guys. Uh-huh. I'm literally.
Yeah. And then unique character too.
The team starts to gain that confidence as a whole team. Wow, you can't stop it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, a lot of people.
Until they ran into that defensive line.
Yeah. So what, the NASCAR defense is what they call themselves?
Yes, indeed.
That's rough. Yeah, not big Giants fans in the Brown household. I got to tell you,
no,
not our style.
Hate Jets way more. It's fine.
It's okay, guys.
I mean, the other 6 Super Bowls did kind of lessen the blow, so it's cool.
It's okay. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, that's true. I will say, I had to delete all the sports talk radio stations from my car radio though. The next like 6 months after that Super Bowl, I deleted all my bookmarks, ESPN and all that shit. Like I was done with sports for like 6 months. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't think I watched Sports Center or something until we actually went back to working out.
Yep. I think that's probably the same time we started.
Like, I want to watch nothing dealing with football right now.
Nope. That was a tough off season.
Yes. Yeah.
But you were actually drafted by Pete Carroll when he was coaching the team, right?
Yes, sir. Pete Carroll was the head coach. Bobby Greer was the general manager.
So, was there a big difference between a Pete Carroll locker room and a Bill Belichick locker room?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Hands down. Pete Carroll is your player's coach. Like whatever you need, you tell Pete, he gonna take care of it.
Okay.
Bill, now we're gonna work around. We're gonna work at what we got.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make it work. It's gonna work. It may be a little tough, but we're gonna make it work.
Well, it wasn't the first year that Bill took over in 2000. By the end of the season, because the salary cap was so mangled, like you guys couldn't even field 53 players, right?
Right.
You didn't even have 53 players on the team.
Right. But that was, I think he liked stuff like that.
Yeah. It seems that way.
Yes. That's, for some odd reason, that's just Bill. You know, he liked doing, you know, that type of stuff. That I can control this. I can make this work.
Yeah. Yeah. He also seems to like doing things the hard way.
No. But it seems like the hard way, but at the end of the year, you're like, we actually made that work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's one thing is about him is getting a good feel. I'm going to get a good feel for my team guy.
Okay.
I'm going to understand what my team is, who they are, what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are. And we're going to attack it that way and try to avoid our weaknesses in games. But like you say, it's going to happen.
Of course.
Going to happen. So he feels his team out and understands, you know, what's the strengths of that team at that time. And that's not saying that the weaknesses can't be built into strengths later on in that season. Mm-hmm. But he knows at that point when it started the season, that's their weakness.
Yeah.
So he knows his team.
So we've had not an argument, a disagreement, I'd say, with Greg, who conveniently isn't here. But I am in the camp that Bill Belichick is a coaching genius. And Greg says he's just like a smart guy and that like any good coach would do a lot of the things that he did.
Gets more credit than he deserves.
Yes.
One thing Bill does is pays attention to detail. Very small detail, little detail. Some of the things you'd be like, why would you pay attention to that? Like,
right.
Why would we need to know what school a guy went to that we're playing against? Why would that make a difference? Why would we need to know that he played a different position? Why would we need to know that Ronnie Brown was left-handed before the Wildcat game? Why would we need to know that? You know, just those little things that you know, like when soon as Ronnie Brown threw that pass, that touchdown pass, the first thing I heard was, who knew he was left-handed? Not who had to cover that guy, but who knew he was left-handed?
Uh-huh.
So, you know, that's those little things.
Yeah.
I think I'm being too loud. My wife told me to be quiet.
Why do you think I'm in the car?
Yeah, right.
I get the same thing.
I'm closing my door. Unless you can't hear me.
So, because just for like, peeling the curtain back a bit, the way that we convinced you to come on is that I started a Twitter campaign where I would post flattering things about you every day and post a highlight and stuff and like why it was so cool. And the one today was actually, because I've been doing ones with the direct snap because that's kind of your play that a lot of people remember. Like when there's a big moment and the Patriots needed a conversion, 2-point conversion or a touchdown or like they need this play, that seemed to be where they would go.
Why people didn't understand that? Why people didn't get that? Yeah. It's like he's going out in motion. He's out of the backfield. He's motioning back into the backfield.
Uh-huh.
And then Tom Brady's going like this.
What's the one play they run when he motions back into the backfield?
Yeah. And it caught him off guard every time.
Every time.
The crazy thing is I'm watching the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl with the Patriots.
Yep.
Yeah.
That yesterday or day before or something. Same thing.
Yeah. What's the one play? They needed those points.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And they run it. But
I
was going to say the one play that I found that I posted today was you ran that play, but then you ran to the right and did the throwback to Tom, who looked like a wounded gazelle finishing the play.
Yeah.
Hey, that was the problem though. Like am I going to throw a good enough ball that is going to be perfect enough for Tom not to have to go try to chase it or not? Because if he has to go chase it, we're in trouble.
We've seen what happens. I mean, Steve was at the Titans game where they tried that. Amendola or something like a few years ago. And that did not go well. And his knee brace got stuck in the ground and he just, looked like he'd been shot. It was rough.
Yeah.
But I must say, they gave me a lot of practice throwing the ball. You know, what people fail to realize is back then, I was like the number 3 quarterback because we only had 2 quarterbacks on the roster.
Right. Yeah. Because that was, I think, 2002. That was after they traded Drew Bledsoe. Yeah. And so I found the Boston Globe clipping that was talking like Bill Belichick after the game, talking about how you guys would literally practice that every week. It had been for like months, but just never had the chance to call it.
We practice that. There's at least twice a week we practice that place.
Yeah.
At least twice a week.
That's
we might run once a year, twice a year.
Yeah. If that, yeah. But even, you can say that about all the trick plays you see. I mean, every time after the game, whoever ran it, like the double pass with Edelman, talking about, we practice this all the time. We've just never had the chance to call it, so we just don't. So it's that level of preparation, I think, that for me sets a Patriots team apart. They're always that well prepared and always have been.
That's kind of like I was telling people about that 28-3 comeback. I'm like, they won that game a long time before that game was even played. You know, there's certain situations that we practice as a group, and it may not be in that identical situation, but it was a situation similar to that we had to come back and we had to score 3 or 4 touchdowns. And we're like, that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. So enough stuff happens in the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah. Of all weeks.
So what you're saying is your team, me and Andy, not Team Greg. Got it.
So we can go on the record. Team Fuck Greg is strong here. I like it. Yes. Greg, useless.
Greg, I don't know you, Greg. So I'm sorry, but
you don't need to apologize. He's the baby anyway. He gets plenty of love.
Yeah.
Greg. Speaking of Greg, actually, he had some questions because you and him have certain things in common.
Okay.
He thinks that you two have something in common because you're both D1 athletes, but I think that's a stretch. He rode the bench at UNH soccer.
Yeah.
He claimed the same level.
He claiming that D1 though.
He's claiming D1 AA too. It doesn't even really count. Yeah. But he was also he's a huge Lil Wayne fan. So there's a mention of Lil Wayne in your Wikipedia that I'm not going to get into because it's not what we do here.
I'm grown. That's my one step in life.
But really, we just kind of want to know. What was he want to know? He said, "What is your favorite Wayne album?"
Oh, Carter 5.
Carter 5. All right, his was Carter 1.
Yeah.
And then for mixtapes, you got a favorite mixtape?
I'm looking at it right. I'm looking at I can't think of the name, but I'm looking at the cover of it right now. Oh, I can't think of the name of it. Wow, is it?
His was the Drought 3.
That's it.
That's it. Oh, no. Wow. All right.
Not the Drought 3. Not that.
No.
It might be 1 or 2.
All right.
It might be 1 or 2.
So I mean, Greg's wrong on that too. That's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for.
But he's not wrong about Lil Wayne though. We good.
Yeah. No, he actually wanted people to call him. What was his name? Breezy F Baby. Don't forget the baby.
Yes, he did that for like a year.
A long time. Yeah. Yeah, that's rough.
Don't do it, Greg. Don't do it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, like you said, he's grown too, but maybe not.
Don't do it.
I have some real questions.
All right, give me a real question.
Were you ever close to leaving the Patriots?
Year 6 was my free agent year. Yes and no. It was between Patriots and Tampa, and it was like, you know what? My kids are very comfortable school-wise. Don't make no sense to transferring them to another school, different friends. So I was like, you know what? We just gonna stay here.
How old are your kids then?
They were like in middle school.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
But they were young. It didn't make sense to move on.
Yeah.
Now, if the money was very different, yes, but the money wasn't too much different. So it was like, let's just stay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then, I don't know, I've always envisioned you as the first person in that role, right? That a bunch of guys have followed since. James White, Shane Vereen, all those different dudes.
Woodhead.
Is there someone before you? I don't even really, or is this sort of like
this Bill? This is all Bill. Like Bill brought me in, told me, hey, look, I'm gonna bring in these two guys. I'm gonna bring in this guy. I want to make you as my third down back. And I'm like, okay, I really want to be the guy, but third down back. And he started telling me about Metcalf he had at Cleveland.
Oh, right.
Meggett at the Giants. Mm-hmm. He started telling me about those guys. And those are all guys I watched when I was younger. So it was like, oh, what? Okay. Yeah. I can do those guys. Sure enough, adapted to my role. And there we go.
Did you beat somebody out at the time that was already on the team? If you remember? Or no, it's when Belichick came into you.
No, I think it they had a couple of guys on the team that could have portrayed that role. JR was on the team. Patrick Pass was on the team. JR was actually doing a lot of the third down stuff in 01 whenever we won the Super Bowl. So he was doing a lot of blitz pickup stuff. So, so those guys were there.
Beat them out. And I imagine that probably helped you in the long run, too. It prolonged your career, not having to be taking all those hits.
I'm trying to think of them. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, a whole lot. Yes, definitely helped me in my career, my longevity and everything. I'm trying to think of the running back that was there my first year with it was me, Terry Allen, Lamont. I forgot Lamont's last name, but he was like a third down type back.
Jordan?
Not Lamont Jordan. Not Lamont Jordan. Lamont Jordan came later.
Yeah.
He was an older guy.
Lamont Warren.
Yes.
Okay.
That might, yes.
Yeah.
That, he kind of took me in his wing a little bit, broke down a little bit of the third down stuff for me. At the time I was young, I wanted to be the guy. I didn't worry about no third down stuff, but he kind of broke a little bit down to me, and I kind of remembered for when that time came from. Because that's what he did. That's what he did a lot of.
No kidding. Wow. Yeah, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time, Lamont Warren.
Yeah. I've been trying to think of his last name for a while, too.
The internet's a great play. It's dangerous, but it's great.
I'm glad you got those rosters, buddy.
Well, Terry Allen was only on the team because Robert Edwards tore his knee, right?
Right. Well, that's why I got drafted.
Oh, yeah.
Because Robert Edwards tore his knee up.
Jeez. That was brutal.
Yes. Awesome.
I mean, I think we talked about that on one episode and just the severity of it. He tore every single ligament in his knee, and if they hadn't taken care of him the way they did, they would have had to amputate the leg or something. It was real close.
Really close.
Yeah, that's
we saw him in a game watching this podcast. He was playing for the Chiefs or something.
It was a Dolphin, someone, and just wasn't the same guy.
Nah, you could tell.
How could you be?
But even the fact that he came back and played in the NFL after that is
right.
Itself.
Yeah, that's a bounce back. All right, so Steve asked some serious questions, so I have other ones that aren't so serious. I always loved the elbow pads, and I was wondering if there was a story behind those, because
it's a good one.
They reminded me for some reason of tire treads, and I always used to when I was young, because I was little, and I used to look for tire treads to see if they matched your elbow pads.
There is a story. When I first got to New England, I met a few guys, 3 or 4 guys, that we became very close, real close. And one of the guys was a younger guy, and he was trying to design hockey pads, hockey shoulder pads, hockey pads, just And he told me that he was going to design me some football shoulder pads. And I was like, man, don't worry about it, man. Look, we just going to be cool, me and you. Don't worry about it. And over the years, he was like, hey, man, look, I want you to try this. Would you wear this for me? Would you wear this for me? And I'm like, explain it to me. Explain why I'm wearing this.
Yeah.
And he explained it to me, explained everything. And I was like, wow, okay, I get it. Because we do get hit here sometimes.
Yeah.
And when you do get hit at the right angle, you can cough up that ball. And I'm like, let me see these pads. Put them on. And I took a helmet and I hit my elbow. And I'm like, wow. The power spread through all the cubes in it.
Yeah,
you can feel it. I'm like, wow, okay. I'll wear them, bro. Started wearing them, and everybody like, man, where you get calls? Where you get this? What's that?
Yeah.
And it was just something that he just put together at the time. Now, eventually, he started patterning them and everything. Yeah. But the first couple, oh my God.
You always had like a gigantic chin strap too, like your.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, I put a wristband.
Oh, that's what
for the sweat.
Oh, all right.
Sweat a whole lot.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I also had like the elbow pads. I had an undershirt with those cubes underneath my pads, so where I take a hit, it would go through all those cubes as well.
That's fascinating.
So it wasn't just the elbow pads. I had a little shock shirt too now.
No kidding, huh? Damn, learn all sorts of secrets.
Like they're doing now, like they have now. That's been.
Yeah. Revolutionary. Kevin Faulk setting those trends. I like it.
Well, I wish you'd have patented it and still have this stuff right now, but you know how it is.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Inventors, man. Can't trust them.
Right.
Let's see what other. I got some other questions from some of our listeners. So let's go through these.
We have listeners.
A few.
Okay.
We're gonna have more after this. Do you tease your cousin about Super Bowl 36?
Nah, I don't know.
No,
because it could have easily gone the other way.
Oh,
that's fair. Yeah, but it didn't though.
No, it didn't. But no, I don't.
Because I mean, our family's all from England, so.
Well, the crazy thing is, he really do believe that we stole signals from them.
Oh, so, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah. Believes that?
We'll say it again.
He still believes that? He's like,
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, that's tough, man.
Hey, man, I'm like, leave it alone. I don't even talk about it.
Yeah, that's fair. We gotta say, because we got family in England, and every once in a while, soccer will happen in England versus USA, and I feel like I'm the only one who reps the USA in that.
That's not true.
Even my brothers. Greg's a big England. We are shitting all over Greg today. He should have been here to defend himself, but this is what he gets when he doesn't show up.
This is bad, Greg. You're not here to defend yourself.
But I mean, any excuse to shit on a cousin for sports-related things, I think, is
right.
Works in our family. But I can appreciate it. If he legit thinks that you guys cheated to get there, that's a tough conversation to have.
Yeah, it is.
So what did you think? Like, give us some like memories from this 2004 Super Bowl run we're about to do.
Oh yeah.
What do you remember from those games?
Because AFC divisional was home in the snow against that historic Peyton Manning offense.
And we had no secondary. We had Troy Brown playing a bunch of snaps.
Yep.
Oh, relentless. That team knew what it took, what it was going to take, or whatever needed to be done. That team knew that we could get it done. However, after the 2001 season, that 2002 season when we didn't make the Super Bowl, when we didn't make the playoffs,
right.
Thanks a lot.
A lot of guys on that team, let it be known, hey, we know what it takes. We getting back there at some point. In the next 2 years, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
And then The week after that was going to Pittsburgh to play Ben Roethlisberger.
Rookie Ben Roethlisberger.
Who had beaten you guys in Pittsburgh early in the season.
Oh, yeah. Again, yes, they beat us early in the season.
Yeah.
Which, like I know, it's tough to beat someone twice in the NFL.
Yeah.
Look, I know everybody talk about how Miami is horrible or was back in the day, how Buffalo. But do they understand how tough it was to beat those guys twice?
I don't know.
Everybody knows everybody's tendencies. Everybody knows what you're going to do, when you're going to do it. So it's like, okay, stop me.
Right.
Stop me. That's all it is.
Yeah. And can you? Because, I mean, even the Buffalo Bills, you guys had unparalleled success against them, home or away. But
right.
At the end of the day, none of those games were really blowouts. They're all close games.
Nope.
You just pulled them out every time.
Miami Dolphins, bro. I was nervous to go over there every year.
Yeah. Is there something about Miami, like in Miami, that's tough?
We psych ourselves out every year.
Is that what it is? That's all it is?
Yeah, it's just a psyche thing, man. That's all. You go into a hot climate.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to lose week 1 this year, right? Open
right.
Miami.
First week in Miami, baby.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. All right, we've got to ask you this. You did convert that 4th and 2, right? Like I will die on that hill. That was a conversion. You got a screw job by the refs.
I think I got it. The guy tried to say that I bobbled the ball. But hey,
even if you did, you still crossed the line that you needed to.
Look, I was sick that whole evening when after it happened. The next morning, until I walked in the building, and I walked in the building, we were going to work out, watch film, and everything. And Coach Secretary was waiting, and he was like, "Yeah, if Coach want to see you," I'm like, "Okay." Go in Coach's office, and he just wanted to reiterate to me and let me know that, hey, if I had the opportunity to call that play again, have that situation again, I'm calling that same play. So that right there just let me know, don't even worry about nothing. Be good.
Yeah, that's got to feel good to have your coach have your back like that.
Yeah.
Right.
What's Coach Fears like?
Great guy. Just kind of like everybody is like a little something that Bill is not. Okay. Bill is not a real big talker. Wasn't a real big talker. Talks more now. Those guys, held all the talking down for you. But attention to detail. Had to know what you was doing. If you didn't know what you was doing, you weren't gonna play for him at all. But a good person, really good person, and coach.
So he just retired this past year, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You have coached your high school team.
Yes.
And you've coached your college team.
Yes.
I see where we're going.
Is the next step being coach for the Patriots in any capacity?
We can see. We can wait to see. I don't know.
All right.
We'll see.
All right. That doesn't sound like a no to me. I'll take that.
No, it's definitely not no. Definitely not. That would be like a trifecta. Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That'd be like, you dream about stuff like that.
That's full circle. Yeah. I like that.
Right. They might be mad at me this preseason though when they see me.
I don't know about that. How would you be mad at Kevin Faulk?
Yeah, why would they be mad at you?
Because I would be in another uniform.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
not a uniform, but just another color.
What color?
Just for the preseason.
Just tell me it's not Tampa Bay, and I'm all right.
It might be worse than Tampa Bay. It might be worse than Tampa Bay, Steve.
It's not the Jets. It can't be the Jets.
No, I hate the Jets, Steve.
All right, good. Then it doesn't matter. You can do whatever the hell you want. As long as not the Jets.
Oh, God, not the Jets.
All right. Yeah, that's good to know. Interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm doing the Bill Walsh thing with the Giants this year.
Oh, cool. That'll be interesting. Yeah, because
I like y'all answer just now. Cool.
Yeah. Hey man, having you back in the NFL, I don't even care. Like Kevin Faulk's back. I'll take it. I'll take whatever. It's all good.
Yeah. So I'm doing about 3 weeks, 4 weeks with them, nice. And it just so happened that the first preseason game is in Foxborough.
Always works.
So you're coaching in Foxborough. That's close enough. We'll get little baby steps, right?
Little baby steps. Little baby.
We'll get you back. I love it. All right, so I got one more thing here.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to hear kind of the story behind when you came out to announce a draft pick and you were wearing a jersey, but it wasn't yours. And just so happened to be of a player who had just been suspended by Roger Goodell, who was standing right next to you for 4 games. How did that happen?
Man, it's the day of the draft, the morning of the draft, and I get a phone call, like an unknown number. And you guys know nowadays, you don't. Back then, I was missing unknown numbers.
Oh, no.
But for some odd reason, I picked it up. I don't know why I picked it up. Hey, Kevin, man, how you doing? I say, hey, oh, wow, how you doing? Hey, don't want to make you think that you have to do this, man. We just want to see if you're on board with this. What do you think about wearing a Tom Brady jersey whenever you announce the draft pick? I'm like, wearing a Tom Brady jersey. See, I wouldn't mind, but I don't have a Tom Brady jersey on me.
Right.
They're like, don't worry. There's going to be one in your room when you get there.
So who was it that was making this phone call? Do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, come on now, guys. I can't tell you that.
It's Tom.
Fair enough.
It was Tom. He didn't have his number.
Nah, it's not him. I wouldn't lie about that. It wasn't him. He didn't know nothing about it. He didn't know nothing about it.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Well, hey, trust me, it wasn't him.
But he returned the favor, though, right? At your
at the
at the retirement ceremony. Yep. Yeah, he came out in a Kevin Faulk jersey.
Yes.
That's pretty dope. I love
Some of the smallest things in the world. That was awesome. That was like very Yeah. When he walked in, I'm like, okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's not something he does very often either, is it?
No.
Tom Brady. No. He's a busy man, so.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I got to go check him out in Tampa, too, though. He got a couple of my guys out there.
Oh, does he?
From LSU.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And make sure he treats them right, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, he is.
All right.
You got to think about it. Just think about all the Super Bowls he's won. There's been a running back from LSU on the team or somebody from LSU close to him.
That's right. Yeah, because Stephen Ridley, right? He was from LSU. Yeah. Oh, man. And then LeGarrette, no, who am I thinking of?
He's Oregon.
Leonard Fournette,
that's what I was thinking, yes. Yep. Oh, man. Oh, look at that. I thought I was the one with the stats and shit like that.
Yeah, didn't even know existed. You're
getting shown up by Kevin Faulk. What a surprise!
No. That's just one I knew. That's a good
one, though. That's a good one.
He actually told me that. He's like, always got to have an LSU back on my team. He told me that.
That's awesome. Oh man! All right, Steve, you got any more questions?
I just have one favor.
Okay.
We're the Browns, so obviously Troy Brown's our favorite Patriot. No disrespect.
None at all. None taken.
Just if he knew we existed, that would just make my life. Text him, Hey, Troy, these crazy 3 Brown bros doing a podcast and they love you. That's all I need.
Yeah, Steve asks every guest we have on who has any relation to the Patriots whatsoever, if they will, next time they talk to Troy Brown, mention us. So I don't even know if you talked to him at all.
I can do that.
This is the closest we ever come.
It is actually, yeah.
He's so busy worried about coaching right now.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
He ain't coming on the podcast. I've given that dream up.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're gonna get that, buddy.
Just knowing I exist is enough.
I love it.
I think he's worried about making it to the playoffs.
Yeah, he's worried about that week 1 preseason game against the Giants, I bet.
Yeah. Game plan.
I bet not.
Hey, one game at a time, man. You can't look forward.
That's right.
Y'all crazy.
That's true.
All right. So last question for you is, do you have any questions for us?
No, not at all. Oh, don't stop sending the highlights, man. Just keep them coming. I don't care.
Oh, hell yeah. Bro, I have a website dedicated to these sorts of things because I'm a nerd.
It's ridiculous.
And I use my power for good. Well, I use my power for nerd, let's be honest. I have a stack of them, and we're still going through, like I said, the 2004 season. So we're putting even more into the system. So they ain't going to stop for a while.
Okay.
Keep coming. So
don't
you worry about it.
You got years.
So do y'all watch them together, or like you may watch one game, they watch one game, or?
So me and Steve, we will spend the week and we'll watch it by ourselves, and then we'll come together and we'll talk about it. Greg just shows up without having watched the game pretty much every week.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because he's that brother, you know.
He's a freelancer.
He's something. He's
little brother, you know.
He's a lot of work, is what he is.
So y'all say he's the youngest?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, but that gets it.
Right.
They don't have no worries.
You tell me about it.
It's right here. Everything they need is right there.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. He'll watch a highlight sometimes. That's all he needs.
Yeah. I watched Chris Berman talk about it for like 2.5 minutes. That's enough, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So, the fact he's not here, not a huge surprise because that's Greg Brown.
It's on brand.
Yeah. But we appreciate that you were here. This has been like the coolest thing we've done on this podcast by a long shot.
Oh, thanks for having me. Really appreciate
it. Yeah. And look forward to your highlights. They'll keep coming.
Appreciate it.
Cool. All right, Kevin. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one, man.
All right. Take it easy.